Happy New Year, everyone. It was too loud to live stream last night. My neighbors were having a party and it was just too noisy, so my cats were scared. I don't know where people find all these firecrackers from. I'm going to pin this as a link in the description. This was released at midnight last night. I didn't watch it last night because I might have gotten drunk. I haven't been drinking too much recently, but I did last night. It was noisy, but what I want to point out about this is I can't even tell you the name of this documentary, but there's something that I'm going at with this. A positive thing that I believe is going to happen in 2024 because there's nothing new under the sun. History always repeats itself. And let me just ask you one thing. Does anyone know why Jesus Christ is the most popular historical figure on the face of the earth? Regardless of which religious pantheon you follow, if you're a pagan, if you're a pagan, you really know who Jesus is. Do you want to know why? It wasn't for the good things he did. Sadly, Jesus Christ is the most famous figure in history for the persecution he went through. Yeah, police sirens in the background. Can you hear them? It was loud last night. I told you in Philly. Well, the same exact thing is actually happening with a certain orange man. In fact, I was surprised. I'm not pulling the video up. Fox News came up in my news feed this morning. I was like, all right. A Fox News host actually shut someone down on their video today with TDS because they were talking about the border and 250,000 people came over in December and they were going on about that fucking Mein Kampf quote. Yeah, suddenly every Democrat and liberal can quote Mein Kampf now, which is fucking amazing. It was, yeah, let's not even go there. But the Fox News host looks at him and says, he's not the president right now. Like, how? Like, this ain't his fault. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Because now the new talking point is if he does become president, he's going to round up all these people, which he should. We know the deal. And then I was watching another documentary last night. It was on Vlad TV. I forget the guy's name. He used to be a DEA agent. He's Mexican, but he has a lot of insider knowledge about cartels. And the shit he was saying on his show, I was like, oh, this guy's a walking dead man. Because we know what happens to whistleblowers. And it wasn't surprising. But what he basically said, he said, people aren't conspiracy theorists. He basically said that every politician down at the border is working for the cartels. Katie Hobbs. Yeah. Put two and two together on that one. Arizona. Not hard to figure out. And they're making a lot of money with the trafficking. So anyway, this is the true timeline of events which happened on that day. You know what day I'm talking about. But what I want to mention about this website, what is good about this? This is hosted on their own website, which means that they're probably using their own server. They didn't buy this website through GoDaddy. This is good because this is how information is going to be shared. Turning the internet into more of what the dark web was supposed to be, specialized indexes of information files, rather than the whole internet just being the whole Google complex, because you know how that works. So they didn't share this on Rumble. They didn't share this on BitChute. They didn't put this. I'm sure other people are going to re-upload it to those platforms and whatever. They do it to my videos. So, but completely subverting social media, period, and sharing information on your own server. You can't be deplatformed. You can't be even. Their website is OpenINK. It's not even a .com domain. Interesting. I'm sure they got their own server to host this movie because it's going to be pretty controversial. I I had to stop this halfway through because I almost pissed myself. I'm someone who's ex-military. I'm trained. All right. I learned how to throw grenades when I was 16 years old in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Because I'm a Leo, when I graduated high school, I was 16. I was in delayed entry for the National Guard, and I went to basic training 16 years old, which is why I laugh when I hear Democrats saying shit like, oh, you can't be 18 and own a gun. Get the fuck out of here. I was old enough to go die for my country, but I wasn't old enough to go buy alcohol. Yeah, try to get your head around that one. Um, they deployed tear gas grenades, and the DC police officers didn't take into account the wind, which is one of the first fucking things you need to know when you're deploying any type of chemical weapon. And CS gas won't kill you. We go in a gas chamber in basic training. You have to do push-ups in there, recite the last four of your social security number, your name. It just makes your eyes red and all kinds of snots and stuff comes out of your nose. It won't kill you though. So, and with that in mind, it's very ineffective against militarily trained people because we just suck it up and drive on. That's what we're taught. But CS, but if you're deploying real chemical weapons, you basically just gassed yourself, you idiots. This is why I have a problem. I'm just ranting here about law enforcement getting military grade weapons when they're not properly trained how to use them. Thank God it was just a CS grenade, because they tried to throw it into the crowd and the wind came back and blew it all back onto the police themselves. It's like, I'm like, duh. Like, you guys, oh, don't forget the fact that they failed to give the crowd 3 warnings before they did that, which is what you're supposed to do by law. And, you know, a lot of us have a pretty damn good idea what this is about. But going back to Jesus, see, evil is not that creative. And they're saying persecution of Jesus many years ago by the Pharisees, who were Babylon, the reptilians in charge, only propelled him as to one of the most well-known historical figures in history, not because of necessarily the good things he did. Everyone knows Jesus, but they know him by, unfortunately, what he had to suffer through. I tell people go watch Passion of the Christ and try not to hold back tears watching that movie. And the heartbreaking thing is how Jesus redeems the people who tortured him. Like I said, you want to know what's really pissing me off? I am about to stop using Windows and go to Linux because I am sick of my computer having Trump derangement syndrome. What do I mean by that? You know Windows 10 and their updates, right? Well, on the new Windows 10, you get a news feed. But every fucking day that I open up my news feed, it's a story about Trump right there. Fucking and this is the video I made the other day about what the whole ballot thing. It had nothing to do with legality. They didn't want people practicing Christmas and what it was supposed to be about and Jesus Christ. So they created a bunch of gossip, which is the same tactic they used to crucify Jesus. Nothing new under the sun. And they're just, people are starting to get sick of it. A lot of people can't even answer why they hate him so much. They don't. MK Ultra mind control, propaganda is a powerful weapon. In Babylonian Talmud themselves, and I don't know how many times I have to say this, the Pharisees claim that they used magic and gossip to condemn Jesus. They knew he was the Son of God, but he was a threat to their way of life. He was more of a threat to their way of life than those of the pagans. And that definition of pagan is people who engage in human and animal sacrifice. What the hell was Babylon doing that they didn't consider themselves pagan? They were something far worse. Abomination, I guess you could say that's the word, biblical word, I guess. This goes back to Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodomy, hello, you know the root of the word sodomy, right? Is it any coincidence that the same demon possessed people are basically trying to push their Babylonian agendas right in their face? That's what it's rooted from. It's depravity. And they see you. Everything they do seems to help the guy. If yous would have just shut up about him for 3 years, maybe people would have forgotten about the Orange Man. But the fact that every single day, even on Christmas, you, I mean, yeah, it's going to backfire on them because the hate is getting to a level where it's not human. I tell people things that are fake. They look at me crazy all they want. I tell people, well, you defending that guy? He letting whatever. Well, before you even open your mouth up about what you've heard on mainstream media, I suggest you watch this hour and 6 minute long video and see the real timeline that day. And remember, the footage wasn't released for a very long time. Gee, I wonder why. And it's pretty obvious to people. And if they would just shut up about them, but the thing is, they have nothing positive to report on their side, or we'd be hearing about it every day. You know, you got a guy. I can't say too much about that. That is not the real Joe Biden. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. All right, I'll prove it. His signature doesn't match on executive orders. He looks like he's wearing a mask sometimes. I mean, come on. I'm not sugarcoating shit anymore. People need to realize. But he doesn't matter. He's just fucking puppet head. You got a guy that they can't defend on why they hate the other guy so much when this guy ain't doing shit for the country. He can't get through 5 sentences without being high on amphetamines or shitting his pants. Yeah, they have the audacity to sit here and talk about a certain Orange Man. And I know what it revolves around. And shit is about to hit the fan in 2024, pretty soon. Because I need to remind people, I think it was Marsha, I forget her, is it Blackbird? I don't know. It was a woman, God bless her, one Republican woman, who has gone ahead and, now I've seen them on the internet years ago, so have many of us, and the Hollywood people that are on that list are the ones with the biggest TDS. Alec Baldwin. So it made a lot of sense, because we saw right through the shit. We're like, oh, that's why they hate this guy so much. Oh, this is what it's about. There's only 2 reasons why you would hate somebody so much. One, they're fucking with your money, because that's important to evil people, because they need money to stay in power. It's very important to them. That's how they pay their private security. That's how they scheme and do all their little fucking backdoor shit that they do. Money keeps the Luciferian wheels rolling. No one's messing with their fucking money. Alright? How many billions has this regime given away, quote unquote, right? Yeah. I think we know what's going on there. Also, not just this regime. There's some stuff coming out, like Disney, Amazon. Amazon can't account for the $1 billion it spent on the Lord of the Rings TV series. You can pay me to watch that piece of shit. And people are saying, not just because it's badly written and woke, like, they look at the production value of it. Is Hollywood and some movie studios actually involved in human trafficking and money laundering? Gee, that wouldn't be hard to... Yeah, so I think what you're going to see, and then obviously these people don't plan on conceding power. I mentioned it in another video. I saw the interview between Tucker Carlson and Dan Bongino. Can't play it on YouTube. Obviously why, but Tucker Carlson had the document in 2020. If this didn't happen this way, and what I think actually happens this day in this timeline is something that this is conjecture from me. I actually believe Congress was threatened that you do it this way or we will burn the fucking cities to the ground. And we got people on standby to do it. And this was in a document that if they had lost in 2020, Tucker Carlson showed it to Dan Bongino, it was actually written in the document by Democratic strategists that they were going to, quote unquote, take it to a street fight. And I told you start watching the Palestinian protests that are going on right now. Just their newest puppets they're using for chaos. But it's going to fail. They don't think about the laws of cause and effect. They don't realize that being so downright hateful of another human over what? It took 3 years, but I think people are finally starting to see through that. You know, you meet people with severe TDS, you know, I don't know, joke around them, give them, you know, give them a doll, tell them to show you on the doll where Trump hurt you. Now, we see, like people like me on my 10th YouTube channel, losing my channel because I was one of the first people to actually start imposing a few things. One was the Transformers, which they didn't like, and a certain drug that's only a conspiracy theorist will come up with, and that is, I think, that word is banned on YouTube. 5 years ago, no one knew what that word was, and we exposed it so much that the word's banned on YouTube now. Unless you work for the other side and you're trying to do like a hit piece about it. You'll be laughed right off the fucking internet, just with all the people who try to debunk Pizzagate. You know, for something that wasn't real, they did a really good job at scrubbing the internet of all that. Here, let me show you something. For a very long time, I had a bookmark because this is what I was showing on my Rumble stream, and Rumble kicked me off my live stream for exposing. That's why I don't trust Rumble. That's why I'm saying it was a good idea for this movie producers to put this on their own private server, on their own website, and that is how you're going to get information out. Bypass social media altogether. They can't deplatform you off your own fucking server. Okay? I had this was, blog has been removed. This was a website that someone had taken all the pictures that many of the liberals... See, Twitter came out, 2007, 2008. At that time, Obama was in office. So they got pretty enthusiastic about showing their true sodomite sides because, you know, figured that one out. So a lot of them in the early years of Twitter were posting some pretty screwed up things on the internet, including the one picture I had on here of Jimmy Comet himself rolling around in what appeared to be human blood with cages behind him. And the cages were dog cages, but I don't think they were using to cage dogs. And he was wearing high heels and lipstick, and he was covered in, I don't know if it was real blood or fake blood, or pizza sauce. Yeah. But we were all crazy. And there were some other pics, and all the shit I had bookmarked about Pizzagate has been removed from the internet. Yeah, for something that wasn't real, you did a really good job of scrubbing it off the... And I'll be honest, you can't share this shit on any website. So I don't give a shit how... Yeah, go try to run a live stream over at Rumble about Pizzagate. Let me know how that works out for you. Also, Rumble will demonetize your videos if you put Pizzagate in the title. I proved it on another Rumble account I had. All the videos that were being synced were monetized, except anything I had with the words Pizzagate in the title. Trust nobody. And a lot of you people who are like depending on Rumble to back up all your videos, What are you going to do when Rumble servers fucking disappear overnight? And now you're not on YouTube. Now you thought you were safe on Rumble. This is why I back my videos up with LBRY and Odyssey, because it's based off the blockchain, and you can't just delete shit off the blockchain. This is what I mean about bringing... we are better at one thing than the evil Democrats and liberals. They want technology to rule the world, but they don't know how to utilize the technology. Kind of like with the police at J6 gassing themselves with a fucking CS grenade because they threw it into the wind. So, in 2019, the FBI had to come out with an article stating that they were losing the cybersecurity war around the world because of their marijuana testing. Because, let's be honest, a lot of elite hackers are big marijuana users. I know a few personally. Hey man, if you're going to write 100,000 lines of computer code, you need a little fucking motivation. So a lot of them, half of them are jacked up on Mountain Dew and Adderall, the other half are big potheads. Take your pick. But you want to find a black hat hacker that's going to pass a drug test. Well, you might get a job at the FBI, but yeah, good luck with that one. So that was a major problem they started running into. Remember when Hillary Clinton said we were, quote-unquote, losing the information war? Well, look at how censorship backfired on them. It didn't work out the way they thought it would, did it? Or some idiots just keep coming back to their platform even though they're taken off 10 times like me. Because I'm stubborn. I am a Leo. But this is a... Back... Around 2017, this is before I went out to Las Vegas and went to Area 51. When I finally met my partner, he's married, he got a wife. He was a tech advisor for me, that's all I'm going to say about data. You don't need to know too much about him. And he's a guy, as far as you know, he doesn't exist. I'll just say that about him. He made sure I was safe the whole 10 days I was in Las Vegas. And I felt safe out there. He's like, he is capable of things. And it was them and the anonymous hackers taking down child porn sites on the dark web that I became the public face for. And some of these guys started backing me. That's how in the early days of my YouTube channel, I had a lot of deep state shills coming and they were getting scared away. And I didn't even know who the fuck was doing it. I was just told, Ken, do your thing. You got guardian angels looking out for you, because no one has been able to expose satanic ritual abuse like you have. Not all of them were on board with the reptilian thing. Yeah, it's a little stretch for most people, but a lot of them were in support of what I was exposing with satanic ritual abuse. That's what this is. There's a difference between Chester the molester living down the street who just likes to, go to the park and stare at little girls all day, compared to these elitists which do it on a level. Why do you think Joe Biden's in St. Croix right now? Why do you think George Soros came out with his holiday pic of him on the beach with 2 black men? Anyone know where Epstein Island? Yeah, put 2 and 2 together on that one. Why would they be going there? Well, I know why. Oh, there's a ritual that happens on December 26th. You want to know what it is? It's a mockery of the birth of Jesus Christ. The rumor is it involves a small boy being sacrificed, dismembered. And then as a mockery to Christmas, they do a few things. One is take Trump off the ballot to start a lot of gossip across the country to keep people away from talking about Jesus and what the meaning of the holiday is. And 2, they gift each other body parts of a small child. I know that because I have the Satanic Ritual Abuse occult calendar, and that's what happens on December 26th. These were rituals that they were doing. They are energy vampires, and they thrive on this. What you're seeing on video here is a louse feeding event. This is what they thrive on. This is evil. going throughout history. Nothing new under the sun. Except there's a problem. And what problem is that? Demons have to follow by universal natural law. For example, a demon cannot violate your free will. However, these unhinged psychopaths in charge think they can. Yeah, if you can wrap your head around that, demons have to follow more rules than these unhinged psychopaths do. And that's not something that can sustain itself. And it's not going to. And people are waking up to the... So anyway, I think in 2024, you're going to see a huge shift in dynamics. And things are going to change. But they're going to try to create some chaos, especially when the Epstein thing gets released. You haven't seen nothing yet. They are petrified. Imagine living your whole life where you can't let people know what you really do because, as they said, you wouldn't be able to walk down the street. So you're going to make millions of people suffer because you just want to cover up a few things. Only, the most elite are obviously involved with. But choking on weed, right? I did get a nice present last month. Let's just say it lasted me until the new year. Someone, one of my subs, hooked me up. That's all I'm going to say. I'll pin this as the top link. A lot of people are probably going to be talking about this. The only thing I don't like, I always like reading comments on videos. So you don't get any comments here, but I'm sure this will be put onto. I was listening to X22 report. I got to hear what Dave's saying. Episode 3247B. This guy has made 7,000 videos. Yeah, trust the plan, Dave. You think he's working for someone? I mean, how the hell do you put out 7,000 videos every fucking day? Am I doing something wrong? Should I be selling CIA-run VPN addresses and GMO collagen on... Look, there's something going on with that also. There's a way that these people signal to each other, and we're kind of figuring it out in the alternative media. That's all I'm saying. I got no problem with anyone who wants to sell affiliate links in your videos, whatever. If you got to do what you got to do to survive. I won't do it. I don't do it. Because I'm skeptical of a lot of these companies. Has anyone tested that Patriot food supply shit and even know what it is? How do you know it's like not cricket powder? Yeah. It's like if you work for certain organizations, you have to plug certain things into your videos. It just becomes very suspicious. That's all I'm saying. But now Dave live streams every night on the Rumble. Has anyone ever seen Dave from X22 Report? He does interviews. He never shows himself on camera. I wonder why. Now, there have been some people that leaked some information about him. Some of those cybersecurity people I'm talking about, because you can't... The rumor is that Dave is some like 300-pound dude that lives in Florida. I don't know if that's true or not, and that he's got some real... People are starting to see through this psyop. Yeah, this is what I mean. 7,000 videos about what, Dave? What, Dave? It's the same shit all the time. Whatever. He gets views. He has more subs than me, right? He's got 717,000 followers at Rumble. So obviously he's making a good living over at Rumble because they As long as, oh, but this is what I was going to say. I never hear Dave talking about Pizzagate. And I know some insider information about some of the people he hosts on his own website because I had some friends, let's just say, that were out on the West Coast and they told me a certain person that came up in the early days of the Q movement who is, well, his girlfriend was a tranny and he was a supposed female to male, reverse gender benders. There's a few of them in the alternative media. There's another couple that you can tell, like, anyone remember that girl, Kristen K, the one that mysteriously died, and who's the other fucking Richard Steele guy? He disappeared too. She was a man. She worked for the CCP. They were the ones spreading all the shit on alternative media about 10 Days of Darkness and massive. Until they started going full retard, and what I mean by that, because it has the appeal, and this is my area expertise, they had to go full reptilian. And that's where they lost a lot of credibility because I started telling my subs, do not believe anyone that tells you that the deep state Navy SEALs are fighting reptilians in underground deep installations. That is bullshit. If these lizards were 1,200-pound apex predators, they would have shown themselves by now to keep humans in line. They're parasites. Until we invade Greenland, that's Roman and Greenland theory. Yeah. So, as I stand anymore, I don't really listen to too much from the alternative media or the mainstream anymore because it's just, yeah, how much of this shit can go on? Dave's made 7,000 episodes. Isn't that great? He does an A and B every single day. And if you're dumb enough to think this was to placate patriots, not really. I'd, but you're definitely going to see some shit hit. I was mentioning that because you're going to see shit popping up pretty soon about pizza parties all over again. So I see a trend in the future. Get your own server and host your own media on your own server, and you can't be deplatformed. Dinesh D'Souza has had problems getting his movies out. The Sound of Freedom, that was a major Hollywood release. Got snuffed by movie theaters. Gee, I wonder why. This is where a lot of shit is backfiring. If none of this is true, why do you go out of your way so much to discredit it? Anyway, hope everyone's having a good new year. I'll pin this as the top comment. It's over here on the website for free. No ads, I don't think, either. Yeah. And it just shows you a timeline of what went on that day. And you actually see how much, I think a lot of people know that the timeline was bullshit. Anyway, hope everyone's having a good new year. Any questions or comments, leave them below. God bless and take care.